Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Rosefellow Podcast. This is our year-end episode, closing off 2025 to start 2026. And obviously, with me here today, my partner in crime, Tsoumas.
How are you, Mike?
Great. It's funny.
How many did we do this year, by the way?
I have no idea. It's a lot, and not in a bad way. I said it in a good way, because your evolution on the podcast is amazing. From a guy who had to be rehearsed, who had to know everything by heart, to now just do it so fluently. It's impressive to see.
And on your side, you went from perfect to perfect.
Oh, I like that. That's really good. We're ending 2025 and definitely on a high note. We welcome everyone to join us today, and thank you for partaking. There's a lot to talk about. 2025 definitely had its ups and downs. What word comes to mind when you think of 2025?
Surreal. And I say that very, it just seems like every time we pass a hump, it's like you see, smooth sailing, you see the market opening up, you see people's moods change, and then something happens that just like brings us back. And 2025 seemed like it was just constantly uphill, downhill, uphill, downhill, up. And to me, it felt surreal. It's like, when will this end?
It was definitely challenging. The word that comes to mind when I think of 2025 is resilience. You and I, as owners, as leaders of the company, no matter what you and I talk about, no matter how nervous we get, we have to come in here with a smile.
Absolutely.
And tell the team it's okay, and tomorrow will be a better day. I think that's what I've learned to be is resilient, and to keep a smile on, even though sometimes the inside feels like it's going to blow up.
So what surprised you the most about this year, good or bad?
Our team, our team, and how we came together. No matter what the issues were, I've never seen our team work so close, so tight together, from our legal department, sitting down with our construction team being on every tour with our leasing team. That our team is an incredible team, and this is where you kind of can understand and see people's characters and who they really are. And I gotta say, I am so proud of everyone.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what surprised me, but I'll take it outside of the company. For whatever reason, I thought Montrealers had a little bit more, and I don't know what it is, but we always seemed like we were always the optimistic group. And it just seemed every time there was every time there was a blip, it seemed everybody cocooned. And that's not Montreal. And this year, it's like we were living in fear. And I challenge Montrealers to change that. That's not Montreal. That's not our citizens. That's not who we are as a people.
We were definitely punched in the face, round after round after round. From the initial elections that occurred in the States, to interest rates, to then our local political changes in Montreal, Canada. The good thing is, I think what's impressive is what we talked about our team. Our investors, our partners, they stuck by us, because in times like this, no matter how you and I can preach, it's the best time to be building on spec. It's hard to convince most people that it is the right thing to do. Our banks believed in us.
Yes.
Our investors believed in us. So hats off to them.
What's the saying? Fortune favors the bold.
That's
They
right.
were bold.
Absolutely.
All right. So what was the biggest market shift that you felt this year? It could be in industrial real estate or just real estate in general.
I think it's exactly at the beginning of the year is so many of the multinationals we're used to working with said, stop, the deal's not dead. We're going to have to sit on the sidelines and watch what happens next. So that was for me kind of the first time we've ever really seen that, right? Because deals were about to close at the end of 2024, and then with everything in 2025, everybody was on the sideline. So it was interesting to see. We had to pivot and kind of look at ourselves and say, okay, what can we do now?
Here, I have a positive one with that. It never really correlated in my mind till recently, but I see the retail shopping mall coming back at the forefront. I mean, e-commerce will always be there, but I think it's good for society. I think it's good for industrial real estate, office sectors. I think retail real estate is the one that gained the most of an upswing this year, in my opinion.
What I was shocked about, and maybe because I'm less educated when it comes to that part of real estate, is the Class A or AAA office market. I was talking to some brokers that'd be in Montreal or New York and even Toronto, who, I asked them, well, how's the market? Figuring their answer is going to be like, oh, I'm going to be sitting on a beach in Florida for the next 6 months waiting for it to turn. And they said, I've never been busier. Again, not all asset classes.
Which one?
Yeah, the best of the best, the Class A.
And that's exactly the same thing with industrial,
that's
by
right.
the way. Irrespective of what the market vacancy rate is, good product will always lease first.
Absolutely.
And that is the job of a landlord, of a developer. Make sure their product is better than everybody else's. And they do lease. I mean, in office, the best leases.
That's right.
And I don't think they're giving haircuts.
No, absolutely not. Why should they? Their vacancy rate in some of these cities are 2%. 2% for office space in a downtown market, where the average is 15 to 20, which is interesting. So Sam, 2025, what's a milestone project that stands out to you? And it doesn't have to be an actual tenant. It could be a project, something we bought, something we started. What's one thing that comes to mind?
I won't say it's a building that was erected, but I think our being able to acquire the site formerly owned by RioCan on Highway 13 holds a special place for me, simply because I grew up right next to there. I mean, my wife used to work in a store of part of that where we purchased. Just being able to say, driving by and seeing our sign there, I was like, wow, that's close to home. That just seemed surreal to me. Like, it just seemed something like impossible for us to ever own. Not taking away from any completed projects, but, saying that we actually acquired that, and that reconverting it from a retail mall to an industrial use, and it makes financial sense. It's something I think we should be proud of.
For myself, it is driving by the same highway, Highway 13 in Montreal, and watching the structure go up in Boisbriand. Boisbriand being the city just north of Laval, just before Highway 640. In these times, we've done a lot of development projects. It's another project that's going up on spec for 300,000 square feet, and it shows, again, going back to what I said, the commitment from our partners and from our banks, that in these times that we're able to launch a project like that when no one else is doing that. That's one that makes me extremely proud. And to have Agriper sign with us for a long-term build-to-suit project right next door to that building. So 2 buildings going up in our portfolio.
Not a bad thing to be proud of.
Absolutely. So if we flip back, what's the toughest challenge we faced, in your opinion, in 2025?
I would say keeping momentum high, keeping investor and consumer morale high. When we talk about our investors, like, we're in development. You've got to believe things are going to get better if you're in development. If you put everything as it is, there's no development. I think keeping everybody's morale high and saying, guys, this is just a blip in the road. Look at the market. Look at the stats. Look at the vacancy rates. Look at our product. Look at our sites. To me, that was the most challenging.
So having gone through that and seeing buildings get leased, and it wasn't all. It was the Class A, the best of the best, that was getting leased. That gave us the optimism that it could be done again. But I agree with you. Being able to come into the office and have our team meetings every morning and keep the morale high was a challenge, because we'd get questions saying, from our team saying, "Oh, we just saw in the news that company's closing and this is going on. How does this affect our business?" It took a lot from you and I to make sure that everyone felt safe. Because for us, it was never an option to let people go because of times that were tough. For us, the priority was
down.
Exactly double down.
So with that in mind, I'll tell you something I am proud of us, you and I, in 2025. It's going to sound weird, but it's like we aged. We got older. We've become more mentors.
Yeah.
Yes, we're still hands-on. We'll always be hands-on. But I've noticed we are very comfortable in the capabilities of our team. I mean, they're in a lot of aspects, they're better than us, truthfully. And I noticed you and I have taken on more of a mentor role with our team, and it's nice to see, I can tell you.
100%. We don't feel the need to be at a presentation. We've had meetings with not only multinational but international companies, and you and I felt safe enough and comfortable enough and had enough trust on our team to say, you guys got this. And if you need me, we're here. Which in the past, we felt the obligation to always partake in every one of those. So it's not that we don't want to be part of it. We have enough trust in our team that they can do it. And they've been doing an incredible job. So what lesson did 2025 teach us?
I learned quite a few lessons. One, as a company, you got to be ready for bad days. And I mean, we came in, new kid on the block, and everything has been beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I think this is the first year where we're like, oh, okay, things are going to be challenging. And I'm happy to say it, we generally passed it easier than most, I would assume. But that's one lesson, that you really got to make sure you have the right people, the right core team there with you. Never lose sight of focus. And on a personal level, I mean, we've been able to upgrade our skills lately. We've brought in some professionals to help us in various aspects, computers, AI technology, salesmanship. And I am pleasantly surprised that I noticed I'm still learning, and I got better this year personally. I learned some things over the last few months, and they come instinctual to me now. And I'm very happy about that.
I like that. 2025 gave us, like you said, the opportunity to think outside of the box. You mentioned AI. These presentations we had from our teams, because we've challenged each department to come back to us with ways that they could improve not only their skill sets, but their roles in the company and their divisions with AI. It's mind-blowing what's out there and how we can fast track certain processes. What I admire about 2025 is how, as you mentioned, we were open to get out of our comfort zone. You and I always thought we're the best at the way we present, and we hired someone to come in and who challenged our presentation skills. And I got to tell you, I was the first one to be shaken, because I thought, not to sound cocky, I thought I was probably the best at what I do, and to get taught or to get shown a different way of doing things initially was very, very difficult. But in retrospect, it was amazing. It was amazing.
It made us better.
Every new pitch and presentation we've done with this new way of thinking, this new way of doing things, we've won.
It humbled us a little bit.
A lot.
It humbled us a little bit. But I do like the analogy that was given to us, which is we're already in the F1. This little bit of help is just the difference between first and 10th.
After year like 2025, what does growth look like for us in 2026, Sam?
I think we have to be smarter in how we purchase sites. It's very clear to me now, it's become not a square footage race, it's become a pallet race. What we are noticing is several large companies are still actively moving, but they all need the same thing: automated racking, pallet, number of pallets. And you start looking on island or around, you've got to actually start looking at developments differently. I think we've got to go back to our early days of redevelopment. We used to do that at the beginning. We look at one of our first acquisitions, which is in the West Island of Montreal, Reverchon. I think we got to start looking at those type of things again, like just these little sites, 500,000 feet, 400,000 feet, and go vertical.
The one thing we want to do differently for next year. I think we've done very well with the acquisitions we've done. Location has never changed. It's always the number one thing, because it's the number one thing we get asked from these multinationals. What's the labor pool like? We've convinced companies to move from Toronto to Ottawa as an example, and it's based simply on that location. So I think it comes down to like you said, the focus on the ultimate best sites. And also to be able to walk away and say no. If there's something that you and I may agree or may not agree with, but the data says it's not a good site, it's okay to walk away. Yep. And that's always been hard for us, because we are the ultimate deal junkies. But it's so important to stay disciplined and to walk away when we have to. Yep. What's one thing you think developers absolutely need to stop doing in 2026?
I find developers they just all down talk the market. Like there's no momentum. There's no I don't feel any good feeling when I talk to developers. It's like they're all, anytime we're all together, not one of them says, things are tough, but we did okay.
Yeah.
Like everybody has layoffs and like there's tough times, but I just find developers by nature should be always, positive. I just find lately developers in any sector just don't have that. And we never got rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So here's one. What's one decision this year that you're really glad you made?
My discipline has gone to a complete other level. I've said it many, many times. I don't drink anymore. I get up at 3:45 every morning.
Sorry.
But I think that discipline has given me the mental strength to get through the tough times, and with good times coming now towards the end of 2025 and into 2026. I'm going to keep that same focus and diligence in taking care of myself, because with a clear mind and a proper head on my shoulders, I think we can do anything. What about yourself?
I will also then speak on a personal level, weeding out bad apples. Like on a personal level, on a business level. Sometimes you try to fix them and think that, no, a bad apple is a bad apple. It's better to have less people around you that care than more just so that you're popular.
Why, Sam, if you go back, we've been in business for 6 years, go back 7 years. You're already successful with the company you worked for in the past. But if you look at the entourage of people you had back then, has it evolved? I would assume it's not the same as it is today.
Not at all.
And I agree with you. I think success, I think money as well, is what truly determines who your true friends are.
Yep.
I don't have that many. I can count them on probably one hand who are true close friends, and I'm okay with it. I don't need to spend my time going out and having drinks or wondering why someone isn't calling me or why someone doesn't want to hang out with me. I don't care. My focus is my business and my family, and everything else is an extra.
I spent the last few years, again, thinking in retrospect, trying to please everybody. And this year I said, you know what? No, I just need to please myself, my wife, and my kids. And
Absolutely.
If the home base is good, everything else will be fine.
Let's see. What was the biggest surprise of the year for you?
Biggest surprise.
I'll fill that in while you're thinking about it.
Yeah, please.
How quickly things turned. It was very, 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 I wouldn't say negative, but a true flat line for a long time. And how when it turned, that first deal, call it in August, that happened, and then it was tours after tours after tours, LOIs, and then leases signed, and then another, and now there's what we had, maybe one tenant per building. We have too many because we're leasing the buildings and we're still getting called on those buildings. And now it's more of okay, we got to find a site next to this one so we can develop it, so we can garner that interest from others. It's amazing to see on what level, the high we're going to be closing the year on with the various deals we have, which we're going to be announcing in 2026.
I have my surprise of the year. We mentioned it a little bit before in this podcast, where you and I have effectively been, the best at what we do in our respective careers. And even during Rosefellow's tenure, we were always good at selling, at leasing, at showing. And this year, we dwarfed everything we've done in the past. I mean, just from walking into our buildings, the presentation. I mean, how is it that we never thought of this stuff before? That was what surprised me, how much better we got at leasing. And these are things that were right there. And that really surprised me, how we had so much to learn.
The feedback we get. And these are, again, companies that flew in from Europe, that flew in from the United States to come tour various buildings with the local teams. And I would get the call or the email afterwards saying, we've toured buildings around the world. We've never been to a presentation like a Rosefellow presentation. From the moment they drove into our parking lot, to the way they entered the building, to the presentation and what was given or presented, it was, and it's not one, it was multiple.
But it's not to toot our own horn. We were not this good even before.
You're right.
It's just, and it was so obvious, something simple as having a table, a presentation table, a TV to make a like little things like that. I can't believe how much better we got.
But you know what it is, Sam? A lot of people will panic when times are tougher and times are slower. What we did differently is we took that time. when the phone wasn't ringing throughout the day to go tour a space, and said, okay, how can we do what we do better? From the way we put our leases together, to the way we tour buildings, to the presentation kits we do, how could we evolve and make ourselves better in every aspect of the business? I think that was the greatest takeaway from 2025.
All right. So to end here, I know you read a lot of books. Tell me one you're looking forward to reading to end the year.
Sam Tsoumas, the biography.
2 pages.
Relentless is a book I'm just about to start reading. I'm excited about it because it's someone that I listen to on various podcasts, and so that's what I'm going to be reading during the holidays.
All right. I like fiction. Yes, I'm a comic book fan, but I actually just picked up the new Dan Brown book. The Da Vinci Code. There's a new one that just came out in that series. That's what I'm going to be doing during the holidays.
See, I don't watch that much TV, but I loved those that series. I thought those were great movies, and I'm excited. Is there a movie coming out too about that?
It just came out.
The movie came out.
No, the book.
The book, but is there a movie going to come out?
Probably
in the near future. Well, with that said, that was I think a very, very interesting 2025.
Yeah.
I had a great time with you on the podcast. We had our challenges, and I think we face everyone head on throughout every meeting, every presentation, every one of our own partner meetings. So I thank you. I wish you and your family a happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and to everyone who's listening in, thank you for once again being with us and watching the evolution of Rosefellow through 2025 and hopefully into 2026. With that said, Happy New Year to everybody, and thank you so much.